I'm JD Frost and welcome to the Accountability Show. This is episode 39 and we're talking about growing and scaling your business. Make sure to turn on your notifications so that you know when an episode is launching here on YouTube. We also have this on a podcast as well called The Daily Ledger. And on that podcast, you can listen at any time. It's on iTunes, Spotify. Please go and write a review when you're listening to that and make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. Today on growing and scaling your business, we're talking about creating standards and how important standards are in your business. And contrary to popular belief of me, is I really don't like standards. When I talk about, think about it, apply it to my life, I don't like it. I don't like rules. I don't want to follow rules. I don't want to have to do things that I don't want to do. I want to be able to help a client this way over here and help a client this way over there, no matter what type it is. I don't want to have a standard way of doing it, but that's possible if you're on your own, if you're in your own business. If you're a solopreneur and you have a smaller business, you can do things for certain people a certain way and other people a certain way, and you can get away with it. But when you're growing and scaling your business, what I've learned is that you have to have a standard way of doing it. And when you're building a team and growing a team, if you don't have a standard, then that team doesn't know what to do. They don't know how to fulfill any services or products that you have to offer your customers or your clients. And so over the last 2 years in our business, and especially over the last 6 months, we have made it a priority to create standards in our business. How do we make decisions? How do we classify clients? How do we set up clients? When you're onboarding 50 or 60 new clients every single month, which is what we've been doing for the last 3 years to 4 years, you've got to have a process that you're following or you will have a mess. And 2 years ago in my business, I had a mess. I created a lot of business in a short period of time and didn't have standard ways of being able to fulfill that work. And so these standards give you the ability to scale. They give you the ability to grow in your business. Now, if you don't want to grow in your business, then don't have standards. That's fine. It makes you the most important person in your business. It makes you the one that has all the answers. Everybody's got to come to you for what the next step is because you don't have a standardized process. And even as I'm sitting here talking about this, I am reminding myself of how many times I've had to say, hey, you just got to come to me. You just got to come to me. And the most important way to start to delegate these different standards, to delegate these different jobs and priorities and everything, is to create an org chart in your business. Your standard in your business, the very first standard in your business, has got to be this org chart and how people make decisions and who reports to who. That is a standard. That's how your business works. So in growing and scaling your business, if you decide that you want to grow and scale, and typically this happens around when you're making anywhere from $4 or $5 million a year on your own, if you're in the service business, I can know that for a fact. In product sales, it could be, depending on if you're making the product or if you're just drop shipping products, you could scale a lot easier. But in the service business, I know this, that if you're making $4 or $5 million bucks, that's about the max that you're going to be able to do. In order to get to 10, 12, 15, 20 million, even in excess of 20 million, you got to start that standard process. And you've got to start to break down your business into these standardized processes immediately, all the way down to how you acquire a customer at the very beginning. Even doing this show is a standard way of doing it. We standardized the marketing, which kind of took a while. Right? Like we had marketing going for, 2 years, and we were all over the place. So it didn't even make sense of how we were telling our prospective clients how we do things. We didn't have a standard way to be able to fulfill it. So how in the world were we going to market it? So it's very, very important when you are growing and scaling your business to create standards immediately. And the first standard to create is your organizational chart. Once you have that organizational chart, we learned from Traction that then you can create an accountability chart that matches the org chart. That accountability chart starts to lay out all the different roles and responsibilities, which we talked about in our prior episodes, of each one of those different positions on the org chart. That is standardizing your business, and that will help you grow and scale. Thanks for tuning in to the Accountability Show. Next time, we're going to be talking about growing and scaling and culture development. This is the priority in your business and growing and scaling is your culture. So tune in, turn on your notifications, like and share this episode, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Accountability Show.